I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Jussi Saros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Sonny. And before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me introduce you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show and what you're getting educated about the show. Click on that merchandise tab. Going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from Renegades Puck are still available in our online store, whether that is socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, or so much more. Something like 88 different items with our logo on it. Best said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on X and Threads. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok as well. So please take just a second and give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscription on any of those different platforms, whatever it is you prefer. Jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck YouTube. We sure could use your assistance right over there, and we sure do appreciate all of our new subscribers. So check us out by searching Renegades of Puck on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. That's where you'll find the latest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV, all of our preview segments, our recap segments, and all of our different specialty segments. We post them all there on our YouTube channel. Thanks to the Full Press Predators Network, the Full Press NHL Network, we have gone from local to global in 2023 and continued that momentum well on into 2024. So stick taps, love, and respect to everyone who's checked out the show and helped make us an incredible success in the podcast world. You can find us on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, several other platforms. Just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today, and stick taps, love, and respect to everybody at the Full Press NHL Network for all of the hard work they've done behind the scenes to help make us such a great success. Venmo, that is how you can support the show financially. Just go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck, or scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time and helping us out with several different large projects over the last couple of years since we first launched this project. We always need the help, and we always need the support, and thanks to generous Renegades like you watching and listening right now, we've been able to make some significant upgrades, and we sure do appreciate that. Stick taps, love, and respect. It means a lot to have the support from such a great audience out there. It's great to be in the trenches with each and every one of you. Now listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. At this moment in hockey history, we pause to recap the 2023-2024 NHL season for the Nashville Predators. We're going to do this in chunks of 5 games at a time, so here we go. It's time for the Rebirth Sports season recap.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to January 20th of the year 2024. The Nashville Predators were in Arizona to wrap up the third game of a 3-game road trip. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines in the desert in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Trenton, Sissons, and Sherwood, Smith, Novak, Evangelista, Parson, Glass, and Gurianov. So again, shifting around the combinations of lines 2, 3, and 4. McDonough and Yossi, Luzon and Carrier, and Barry back in the lineup with Shen as your third defensive pairing. Jussi Saros gets the start in net. 8 seconds into the game, Jussi Saros gets his first touch as he gloves down the dump in from Zucker. It was over the crossbar, so not technically a shot on goal. 34 seconds into the first period, it's Ingram coming in with a save on O'Reilly. That's the first shot on goal of the game. At the 106 mark, we see Dermott off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Predators off to the power play. Ingram a save on Barry, and then immediately another save on Gurianov. Ingram would have to come up with another save on O'Reilly at close range, and another save on the captain, Roman Yossi. The Nashville Predators buzzing throughout the 2 minutes of this power play, but it was Connor Ingram, the Arizona Coyotes, standing tall. 3:47 of the first period. It's Ingram coming up with a save on Carey at the 4:28 mark of the first period. Jussi Saros coming up with a save on Dursey at the 5:56 mark of the first period. It's Connor Ingram coming up with another save on Shen at the 6:32 mark. Ingram, yet again, another save, this time on Parsonen. It's the Nashville Predators' 10th shot on goal. As a matter of fact, the shots on goal at the 6:32 mark of the first period are 10-1 in favor of the Nashville Predators. Then UC Saros goes to work at 7:40 of the first period. He comes up with a save on Keller, follows that up at 8:52 of the first with another save on Mosier. At 9:52 of the first period, we have our first score of the game, and it's by the Arizona Coyotes. It's Keller with his 18th goal of the season. It was an easy back post finish after the Preds somehow completely lost Keller in the offensive zone, and it was Cole Smith also picking up what was initially a 4-minute high sticking penalty, reduced to a 2-minute penalty. The goal counts 1-0 Arizona on Keller's 18th of the season. On the ensuing power play, UC Saros would have to stop Keller not once, but 2 times. At the 12:01 mark of the first period, it's Michelli off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Connor Ingram comes up with a huge save on Philip Forsberg, and then we go all the way to the 17:19 mark of the first period as the game finally started to even out after the Nashville Predators had the onslaught of shots on goal in the first half of the period. Things definitely calming down. Ingram comes up with a save on Goryanov off of the rush. Goryanov, another really good release and good powerful wrist shot right here, turned away by Ingram. We hit the end of the first period. The Nashville Predators out shooting the Arizona Coyotes 12-6, but Arizona holds the 1-goal lead. We go into the second period now, and it's 17 seconds into the clean sheet, and it's Ingram coming with a save on O'Reilly. Forsberg immediately following up the play with a rebound opportunity. Ingram coming up with 2 huge saves. The Arizona Coyotes' first scoring opportunity of the second period comes at 1:18, and it's Keller again putting the puck into the net, his 19th of the season, his second of this game, giving Arizona a 2-0 lead. He was wide open on the weak side, and he finishes the play easily, looks high, slides low, easy finish for Keller, beating UC Saros for the second time in this game, 2-0 now in favor of the Arizona Coyotes. We are 3:19 into the second period, and it's Jabot off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Luke Evangelista's scoring chance. Evangelista, good job here, driving hard to the net and earning a power play for his Nashville Predators. The captain, Roman Josi, would benefit on the power play, scoring his 9th goal of the season. It was a incredibly heavy shot. It went off the post and had enough momentum to come off the post, then off of the back of Ingram's pad and into the net. A lucky bounce, but sometimes it'd be that way. The captain, Roman Josi, picks up his 9th goal of the season. On the power play, the Preds are on the board, now down 2-1 Arizona. 5:08 into the second period. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Stetcher at the 6:06 mark of the second period. Saros coming with a save on Keller at 6:55. Saros another save on Zucker at 7:27. Saros another save on Zucker, and at 8:57 the Coyotes continue dominating the middle part of this period, as UC Saros has to come up with another save on Keller. Arizona continues puck possession, zone time, and offensive dominance. And at 9:50 of the second period, it's Carcone getting his 15th goal of the season. Barry loses the battle to the rebound for the easy tap-in. It was as if Barry didn't realize he was coming at first, and then it was too late to do anything about it. An easy rebound goal after easily winning the battle against the Predators defenseman. 3-1 now in favor of the Arizona Coyotes. At the 13:28 mark of the second period, it's Ingram coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg. We flip over to the backside of the sheet, and we find at 14:34 that Krause is off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Luke Evangelista, for the second time in the second period, earns a power play for his Nashville Predators team. Evangelista skating incredibly hard in this game. Ingram would have to come up with a save on Philip Forsberg, but the Nashville Predators would be unable to generate any other shots on goal during the entirety of this power play. We go all the way to the 17-minute mark now of the second period, and we find Connor Ingram coming up with a save on Luke Evangelista, so continuing to have a really strong second period. 18:27 of the second period, it's UC Saros coming up with a save on McBain at the 18:51 mark of the second period. It's Carcone off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Ingram is going to come up with a save on O'Reilly at close range. We'll have the carryover of 51 seconds into the third period of the power play. At the end of the second period, though, the Nashville Predators are out shooting the Arizona Coyotes 25-18. 51 seconds of power play on the clean sheet to start the third period for the Preds. An opportunity to get back in this game. Unable to generate a single shot on goal. Unable to generate much of anything as the Arizona Coyotes put up a very strong penalty kill. At the 3:02 mark now of the third period, it's UC Saros coming with a save on McBain. At the 3:07 mark, It's Barry off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. UC Saros has to come up with a huge save right here on Dooley, and then Gunther hits the post, and that was a close opportunity there for the Arizona Coyotes. 6:27 mark of the third period. Once we're back to 5-on-5 hockey, it's UC Saros coming with a big save on Mosier at the 7:41 mark of the third period. It's Ingram coming up with a save on Trennan at the 8:04 mark of the third period. It is UC Saros coming with another save on Mosier. The Nashville Predators are going to get an opportunity here at 8:37 of the third period as the Arizona Coyotes are caught with too many attackers on the ice. Too many men penalty against Arizona. Connor Ingram goes back to work shorthanded and comes up with a big save on Luke Evangelista, but the Preds again only able to generate one shot on goal during the entirety of this power play. We go to the 10:54 mark of the third period. We find Connor Ingram coming with a save on Luke Evangelista yet again. So Evangelista is having a very strong game for this Nashville Predators team. 11:29 of the third period. UC Saros coming with a save on McBain at the 11:42 mark of the third period. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Carconi at 13:47 of the third period. UC Saros comes with a save on McBain at 15:58. It's Connor Ingram coming with a save on Glass. A really good, strong scoring opportunity for the Nashville Predators at this moment in time. Nashville Predators get the extra attacker on, and it's Ingram coming up with a save on Tommy Novak at the 8:16:56 mark of the third period. Preds extended a period of time with the extra attacker on at 18:34. We see O'Reilly coming up with a huge save. Ingram coming up with a huge save on O'Reilly. And at 18:42, we see Tommy Novak putting the puck into the net for his 8th goal of the season. It was a rebound putback, just the absolute perfect bounce off of the back wall right to Tommy Novak, and he fires it into the net for his 8th goal of the season. Preds still have some life in this game, down 3-2 with just over a minute to go. They'll get the extra attacker on, but they would be unable to generate any good scoring chances or, frankly, any shots on goal as the Arizona Coyotes tighten things up. And over the final seconds of the period, Arizona is able to pin the puck in the corner against the boards. The buzzer goes, and the Arizona Coyotes secure themselves a 3-2 victory over the Nashville Predators on home ice. It would be the Nashville Predators out shooting the Arizona Coyotes 33-26 in this game. And for the Nashville Predators, now 0-2 against the division rival Arizona Coyotes on the season. And that was a critical 2 points today in the playoff race and the Central Division race. The Arizona Coyotes being the team directly behind the Nashville Predators at this moment in the Central Division standings, but also trying to climb into the playoff race and trying to displace the Nashville Predators. UC Saros, not his strongest game in net, but the Nashville Predators as a team, not a very strong game. So this road trip wraps up with the Nashville Predators dropping 2 out of 3, the start and the finish of the road trip, while finding a way to gut out a win in Los Angeles. But this is a tough loss for the Nashville Predators against the Arizona Coyotes. Again, they just could not seize on their opportunities. They could not get their chances buried in the first period when they had their opportunities. So the Arizona Coyotes played a perfect cliche home game, weathered the storm for the first 10 minutes and the first 10 shots for the Nashville Predators, evened things out, got a couple of goals, and then rode a hot Connor Ingram all the way to the finish. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We've got so much more coming up with analysis, box score, and more on the Renegades of Puck podcast right after this.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to January 22nd of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were facing off against the Florida Panthers at Bridgestone Arena for the first of two regular season meetings. Head coach Andrew Brunette deploys his lines and defensive pairings in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Sherwood, Novak, Evangelista, Trennan, Sissons, and Goryanov, Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino. So again, a healthy rotation of healthy scratches and the second, third, and fourth line combinations as well. Yossi and Fabro, Luzon and Carrier, McDonough and Shen make up your defensive pairing. So Barrier out of the lineup and Fabro back into the lineup. UC Saros gets to start on home ice in net. 10 seconds into this game, it's UC Saros coming with the first save of the game on for Hagee. It is, in fact, the first shot on goal of the game. 41 seconds of the first period. It's Stolarz coming with a save on Philip Forsberg. That's the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators. At 1:45 of the first period, it's UC Saros coming with a save on Rodriguez. At 3:49, Saros a save on Kulikov. At 4:42, Saros continues doing the heavy lifting in the first period with a save on Lundell. At 5:44 of the first period, UC Saros again working hard with another save on Rodriguez. At the 7:43 mark of the first period, UC Saros coming with a save on Reinhart. And Florida is simply pushing the Nashville Predators all over the ice at this point in the game. At 9:29 of the first period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Saskevich. At 10:52, we see our first special teams moment of the game when Lucic is off the box. 2 minutes for slashing. The Nashville Predators are going to get the first power play of the game after not having much offense at all to this point, and they would not have much offense at all over the next 2 minutes. 0 shots on goal, and frankly, not much zone time for setting up at all. Credit to the Florida Panthers for the penalty kill. 12:55 now of the first period. Stolarz coming with a save on Goryanov. At 14 minutes of the first period, UC Saros coming with a save on Ekblad. At 15:57 of the first period, UC Saros back to work again, this time a save on Ekman Larson. 16:14, Preds get another scoring chance. Finally, Stolarz comes with a save on Philip Forsberg. At 17:25, though, UC Saros immediately back to work. Saros comes with a save on Montour. It would be a long delayed penalty call on Yakov Trenin, almost a minute's worth of extra attacker time, but the Florida Panthers really weren't looking to seize the opportunity here, more like kill off the time and hold off the power play time until the second period. So the penalty call on Trennan would not happen until the 20-minute mark. It would be 2 minutes for hooking. We would hit the end of the first period. Florida just simply dominant in the first period, out shooting the Nashville Predators 14-4. UC Saros, the only reason the Nashville Predators find themselves in this game. The Florida Panthers start that full 2-minute power play on the fresh sheet in the second period, and they are going to work immediately, pouncing all over the Nashville Predators as UC Saros comes with a save on Tkachuk plus his rebound follow-up opportunity. That's just the first of many. Saros then comes up with a save on Reinhart. Then UC Saros comes with a save on Rodriguez and one more save on Ekblad before the end of the power play for the Florida Panthers. A dominant power play, and a dominant power play for UC Saros, making all of those saves. At 4:04 of the second period, Stolarz coming with a save on Luke Evangelista's deflection. A great scoring opportunity. At this point, the Nashville Predators' best chance of the game. At 6:07 of the second period, it's Stolarz coming with a save on Forsberg at the 6:56 mark. Stolarz comes with a save on the captain, Roman Josi, at 8:24. Another save on Nyquist. And you can just assume that in between all of these plays, the Florida Panthers are just getting shots on goal against UC Saros. It just comes to a point where you simply just cannot tell every single shot on goal. The Florida Panthers is pounding all over the Nashville Predators in this one. So we are 8:24 into the second period. Now Stolarz comes with a save on Nyquist at the 11:15 mark of the second period. Now just past the halfway point of the game. It's Trennan off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on a flopping Montour. Reinhart immediately cashes in on that power play with his 34th goal of the season, giving the Florida Panthers a 1-0 lead. And how it unfolded was off the face-off of the power play to begin it. It was Reinhart stepping around Sissons at the face-off and then driving to the net with the puck and scoring his 34th of the season. The Florida Panthers break through first. 12:04 of the second period. Stolarz coming with a save on Forsberg. Close range here. Another great scoring opportunity for the Nashville Predators in this second period. With 12:16, it's Luzon breaking through for the Preds. His 5th goal of the season ties the game up at 1 apiece. It was a long shot with Sissons setting the screen. after a face-off win. So go back to these last two goals. Colton Sissons loses the face-off, gets stepped around, and gives up the goal in the defensive zone. And then in the offensive zone, wins the face-off, and then goes to the net, sets the screen, and helps the Nashville Predators score this goal. Luzon credited with it his fifth goal of the season. The Preds on the board. Game tied at 1 apiece. 13:42 of the second period. Juicy Saros coming with a save on Lundell at 14:15 of the second period. Juicy Saros coming with a save on Luosterainen at the 14:58 mark. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Kachuk at 16:01 of the second period. It's Stolarz coming with a save on Philip Forsberg at 18:10 of the second period. It's going to be Yakov Trenin off to the box again in this second period. 2 minutes for boarding. And this leads to Trenin versus Gatchevich fighting 5 minutes each. After the boarding penalty, Trenin had to respond for that, and they end up having a good scrap right there at Bridgestone Arena. While the Florida Panthers are on the power play, they're going to have their own power play negated when Verhaeghe takes a 2-minute penalty for cross-checking. That's going to lead to a 4-on-4 scenario. During the 4-on-4 scenario, Stolarz comes with a save on the captain, Roman Jost, and has to come out with another save on Nyquist. We hit the end of the second period, and the Florida Panthers are just piling up the shots on goal. 27 shots on goal for the game through 2 periods. The Nashville Predators are at 16 shots on goal through 2 periods. Brief special teams exchange to start the beginning of the third period on the clean sheet. Nothing would happen right there. We hit the 1:11 mark of the third period, back to 5-on-5 action, and it's Verhaeghe picking up his 24th goal of the season, making it 2-1 in favor of the Florida Panthers. He was off of the rush. He cut to the middle of the ice, used the defense as a screen, and fired and beat UC Saros for Florida to take a 2-1 lead. Again, 24th goal of the season for Verhaeghe. The Predators are picking up a penalty at 4:12 of the third period. Too many men on the ice. UC Saros is going to have to go back to work. UC Saros comes with a save on Ekblad. Then UC Saros comes with a save on Lundell. And then Ekblad picks up a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping. That was right at the end of the Florida Panthers power play. So just a couple of seconds later, the Preds are on a power play. And Stolarz coming with a save on Nyquist. Backhand on the goal line. Nyquist just simply did not get enough of it. And this is, unfortunately for Nyquist, a couple of games in a row now where he's had great opportunities and unable to finish right there at the net. Give credit to the goaltender, but Nyquist truly failed to convert on this opportunity on the power play. At 10:42 of the third period, UC Saros coming with a save on Ekblad. At the 11:20 mark of the third period, it's Ekman Larson off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Philip Forsberg. Philip Forsberg trying to get his team back into this game. Stolarz comes with a save on Novak. All alone in front, had all the time to make all of the moves, and the only move he did not make was putting the puck in the net. In this instant, all Tommy Novak didn't do was make a play. At the 14:09 mark of the third period, it's Stolarz coming with a save on Luzon, who was the offensive juggernaut of this game for the Nashville Predators. At 14:50 of the third period, it's Ekblad off the box. 2 minutes for interference on the captain, Roman Josi. The Florida Panthers doing everything they can to let the Nashville Predators back into this game, but the Nashville Predators are only going to be able to generate one good scoring chance over the course of this power play, and Stolarz coming with a save on Ryan O'Reilly at close range. Back to 5-on-5 hockey at the 17:11 mark of the third period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Kachuk. We hit the empty net scenario at the 17:49 mark of the third period. And at 18:21, we find Montour firing the puck 200 full feet for his second goal of the season. It's an empty net goal, of course. The Florida Panthers now lead 3-1. Here in the third period, Andrew elects to pull UC Saros one more time, try to get back in this game. And at 19:41 of the third period, you find Kachuk scoring his 13th goal of the season, a second empty net goal for the Florida Panthers. That makes the score 4-1. That's going to be your final. The Florida Panthers outshoot the Nashville Predators 38-28, and what was effectively a 2-1 game with two empty netters looks like much more of a blowout. And to be honest with you, the score feels a lot more reflective of how the game itself went. The Nashville Predators were simply run out of their own rink in the first period, found some stability in the middle points of the second period, got themselves on the score sheet, unable though to convert and maintain. what they were starting to build in the second period, and the power play simply another power outage in this game. UC Saros couldn't do it all by himself, but he sure as hell did try throughout the first period and beyond. The Nashville Predators dropped this one to the Florida Panthers, and they are in a struggle right now, trying to find some goals anywhere they can, but they're not finding them anywhere right now. That's going to do it for the Reader Sports full game recap, analysis, and more coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to January the 25th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were in Minnesota to face off against the Wild. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines and defensive pairings in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Novak, Glass, and Evangelista, Trennan, Sissons, and Gurionov, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood, Yossi and Fabro, McDonough, and Shen, Luzon, and Carrier, your defense pairings. The UC Saros gets the start in net. We are 49 seconds into the first period in Minnesota, and it's Gustafsson coming in with the first save of the game on Jeremy Luzon from a long distance. 1:10 of the first period. It's McCarron deflecting a puck into the net, ruled no goal after a huddle-up conference, synchronized huddling, if you will. If you saw the optic, you'll get the reference. The call was reviewed, and it was upheld, deemed to be no goal for a high stick. Still have questions about this one. It really looked like it might have been a good goal, but we move on. 1:37 of the first period. Now UC Saros comes with a save on Boldy. 2:53 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Bogosian. 3:49 of the first period. It's Gustafsson back to work, coming with a save on Yakov. Trennan. 6:41. Gustafsson another save on Nyquist at the 8:39 mark of the first period. The teams are exchanging chances. UC Saros comes with a save on Freddie Gaudreau. Yes, that Freddie Gaudreau, the only Nashville Predator in franchise history to have a game-winning goal in a Stanley Cup final game. As a matter of fact, he's done it twice. Resuming the game recap, 9:25 of the first period. It's Gustafsson coming to the save on O'Reilly at the 10:40 mark of the first. It's Gustafsson, another save on Sisson. Gustafsson at 12:36, though. A save on O'Reilly, 13:47. Bogosian, under intense pressure of the Nashville Predators, picks up a 2-minute penalty. This is for roughing. Gustafsson would have to come up with one save on Alex Carey, but that would be it for the Nashville Predators power play. Minnesota PK doing a very strong job right here on the first special teams scenario of the game. 16:34 of the first period. UC Saros comes up with the save on Goligoski at 16:53. Saros a save on Kaprizov, and at the 19:08 mark of the first period, it's UC Saros coming up with one more save on Bogosian. The Nashville Predators would outshoot the Minnesota Wild in the first period, 11-6, but it would be the Wild, and it would be the Nashville Predators getting the only power play opportunity, unable to convert. We're on the clean sheet of the second period. We're 3:32 into the second, and that's UC Saros coming with a save on Foligno's backhand. Now we're at the 5:49 mark of the second period, and it's Glass off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Hartman. Maybe a little bit of a sell job right here, but he earned the power play for his Minnesota Wild team. That's right, former Nashville Predators are all over this game. UC Saros dials in for one of his strongest sequences of the game. He comes up with a save on Matt Zuccarello, who usually has very strong games against Nashville. President Saros comes up with a save on Boldy. Then another save on Freddie Gaudreau. And then Saros comes up with not one, but two saves on Goligoski as he jams the net and follows it up for a secondary opportunity. UC Saros standing strong for 5 saves on this power play. At the 8:30 mark of the second period, Gustafsson comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. At 9:07 of the second period, Gustafsson coming up with a save on Luke Shen's long shot. Then at 10:07, the middle point of the game, we see Alex Carey off the box. 2 minutes for holding, putting the Minnesota Wild back on the power play. It's UC Saros Saros coming with a save on Faber. And then with just 10 seconds to go in the penalty kill, it is Ryan McDonough off to the box. 2 minutes for playing the puck over the glass. It was just the perfect setup for McDonough. He had the puck on his stick and plenty of room to dump it down the ice, and he just found the other side of the glass for the crowd. This creates a 5-on-3, but only for 10 seconds. The Preds are easily able to kill off that 10 seconds, but on the 5-on-4 that ensued after that, it was Eriksson Ek breaking through. 21st goal of the season was a deflection of Kaprizov's shot. That gives the Minnesota Wild a 1-0 lead. A first goal of the game goes to Eriksson Ek on the power play. 14:42 of the second period. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Middleton at the 14:44 mark of the second period. It's McCarron versus Middleton. 5 minutes each. The Nashville Predators definitely looking to change the energies. It did not take much to get McCarron to engage in this fight. So they are each off to the box 5 minutes apiece. Less than 1 minute later, that was at 14:44. Now we are at 15:37. We see Smith picking up a penalty 2 minutes for Elbing, but he's also going to add 5 minutes to that, as Bogosian is going to pick up an instigator penalty and also add 5 to that. In total, each player 7 penalty minutes and no manpower on the ice affected. So 2 fights for the Nashville Predators in just under a minute's time here in the latter parts of the second period, trying to change the energy, trying to change the dynamic of this game. At the 17:37 mark of the second period, UC Saros coming with a save on Faber at the 18:22 mark of the second. It's Kaprizov off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Gustafsson would have to come up with a save on Colton Sisson's backhand scoring opportunity, but that would be the only opportunity for the Predators on this power play to end the second period. Minnesota now out shooting Nashville 17-15. Remember, Minnesota only 6 shots on goal in the first period, now up to 17 shots on goal. Many of those coming on that power play at the 5:49 mark. And the Minnesota Wild also picking up the only goal of the period, now leading 1-0 as we flip over to the back of the sheet and we start the third period. We are 1:11 into the third period. It's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Colton Sissons at the 1:21 mark of the third. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Rossi's deflection at the 1:44 mark of the third period. The Nashville Predators finally find a way to break through. It's Alex Carrier getting a small measure of revenge against the Minnesota Wild as Trennan makes a great pass across the zone. Carrier was all alone on the weak side, and he goes for the snipe top corner, getting the Nashville Predators on the board. Carrier's 4th goal of the season. We've got a fresh hockey game, 1:44 into the third period. We're tied at 1 apiece, but at 2:19 of the third period, it is Philip Forsberg, who has been in a drought and needed a goal in the worst way. He found a way to break free of the coverage just enough and deflect a Roman Josi shot into the back of the net. So 2:19 now of the third period. Forsberg's 23rd goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 2-1 lead. So trailing to start the third period, 2:19 into the period, now leading by 1, 2-1. At the 5:58 mark of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Shen at the 7:19 mark. Guryanov hits the crossbar, had an opportunity perhaps to put this game away, could not do it right here though. At 8:55 of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Colton Sissons at the 10:59 mark of the third period. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Broden at 11:34 of the third period. It's Captain Roman Josi coming up with his 10th goal of the season. It was a long shot that comically went off of the defense, actually got caught up in the jersey of the defense, and then fell and went into the net. So the Captain Roman Josi picks up his 10th goal of the season on a long shot, throwing it directly into the traffic and getting rewarded. The Predators now hold a 3-1 lead after starting the period down 1-0. At the 12:46 mark of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming with a big save on McDonough. 13:24, Gustafsson keeping his team in it by coming with a save on Luke Evangelista at 14:35. UC Saros back to work, coming up with a save on Brodin at 14:41. It is Luzon off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Looked like he might have gotten the stick caught inside the blade, but that is considered tripping. The referee on top of it right here, and everybody just kind of looks up and says, what can happen here? UC Saros comes over the save on Kaprizov off, and then Boldy scores for Minnesota, 16th goal of the season. A really slick play as he just stepped to the middle of the ice, picked his spot, and ripped it. A really strong snipe by Boldy for his 16th goal of the season. That gives Minnesota 2 goals, but the Nashville Predators still have 3. We would hit the empty net scenario after Gustafsson comes up with a save on Sissons. The Nashville Predators would not be able to hit the empty net. The Minnesota Wild would not be able to generate any further pressure on the Nashville Predators with the extra attacker, and the final seconds would come to their expiration at a very, very slow rate over those final 5 seconds. The Nashville Predators would secure the victory 3-2 in this game in Minnesota, and they would outshoot the Wild 28-24. There is no doubt about it that UC Saros kept the Nashville Predators in this game through the first half of the game, especially that sequence on the power play with 5:49 in the second period, coming up with 5 saves right there. I thought that UC Saros had a really strong bounce-back game. He was really good in the third period when he needed to be as well. Not the heaviest of workload, 22 out of 24 for UC Saros in this game. For the Nashville Predators, a really good, strong come-from-behind win. The Minnesota Wild are a 7th-place team, and they're not a great team, but they have been playing good as of late, and that was a good win for the Preds, coming back from down 1-0, scoring 3 times in the third period and then hanging on to win there at the end. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We'll be back with more analysis, box score, and the rest right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to January 27th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were in Edmonton to face off against the Oilers for the third and final time this regular season. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines of defensive combinations in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist has become the customary first line for quite some time now. Trennan, Sissons, and Gurianov, Novak, Glass, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood as the jumble continues. Lines 2, 3, and 4. Yossi and Favreau, McDonough and Shen, Luzon and Carrier are defensive pairings, and Lankinen gets the start in net. Lankinen, of course, had the victory in Edmonton in the Nashville Predators' previous stop there. 3:16 into the first period. It's Skinner coming up with a save on Forsberg, plus his follow-up at the post. It's the first and second shot on goal of the game. 3:32 into the first period. It's Skinner coming up with a save on Gurianov at 3:58. Mark Lankinen comes up with a save on CC at 4:17 of the first period. It's Lankinen coming up with a shoulder save on McDavid off of the rush. He stood tall and held his ground and able to keep McDavid off of the board at least this time. 5:10 of the first period. It's Lankinen coming up with a save on Perry. Yes, that Perry. 6:38 of the first period. We found our first special teams action of the game as Luzon was off the box. 2 minutes for holding. This penalty took place in the neutral zone, and it's something you simply cannot have happen. Cole Smith would get a shorthanded opportunity off the rush, but he would hit the post, ringing the iron for the first time in this game. Lankinen would come up with a save on Draisaitl, but then Nugent Hopkins would cash in for the Edmonton Oilers with his 12th goal of the season, breaking through and giving the Oilers a 1-0 lead. It was a wrist shot from the slot. Nugent Hopkins worked his way into a perfect spot and just a lethal snipe of an offensive opportunity right here on the power play, and you just cannot take penalties against this Oilers team, but everybody knew that before the puck even dropped in this one. 8:16 of the first period. Skinner coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg off of O'Reilly's good feed. 10:27 of the first. Lankinen comes up with a save on Holloway at the 10:54 mark of the first period. It's Hyman off the box. 2 minutes for interference. He just crashed right through Lankinen, going right through the blue paint. Did not attempt to slow it off, so he gets 2 minutes for goalie interference. Skinner would come up with a save on Luke Evangelista from the slot, but that would be the Nashville Predators' only good scoring opportunity of this first power play of the game, so the Predators unable to respond in the special teams scenario. 13:01 of the first period. Hyman misses the net out of the box. A great opportunity right here for the Oilers, and the Predators have certainly been victimized on that play a number of times this season. 14:19 the first period. Skinner comes up with a save on Yossi. 15:28. It's Lankinen coming up with a save on McLeod, plus the follow-up at 16:25 of the first period. It's Lankinen coming up with a save on Nurse. And at the 16:42 mark, we find Forsberg picking up a penalty. 2 minutes for high sticking. Lankinen would come up with a save on McDavid, and the Nashville Predators penalty kill would do a pretty remarkable job right here, keeping the Edmonton Oilers from getting any other shots on goal over the course of this power play. Nothing else after we return to 5-on-5 hockey, so we hit the intermission with the Oilers out shooting the Predators Predators 9-7 and leading 1-0 after 20 minutes on the clean sheet. We go to 122 into the second, and we find Connor McDavid hitting the post off of the rush at 3:31 of the second period. We find Philip Forsberg. He just misses sliding the puck inside the post. He had Skinner beaten, but he could not finish the playoff at 4:07 of the second period. It's Skinner coming up with a save on Dante Fabro at the 5:01 mark of the second period. It's Draisaitl off to the box for a minor penalty, and O'Reilly is going to ring iron for the Nashville Predators, hitting the post yet again. Skinner is going to come up with a save on Forsberg, and then Skinner is going to come up with another save on glass from close range. Predators unable to convert on the power play yet again. At 7:09 of the second period, it's Skinner coming up with a save on glass's jam attempt, and just before the 10-minute mark of the period, the Nashville Predators are out shooting the Oilers 7-0. We cross over the midway point of the period, and at 10:25, we find Lankinen coming with a save on McDavid off of the rush. The captain Roman Yossi's harassment was just enough and deemed to be legal. There was a slash, there was a hack, there was a whack, there was a hook, there was a hold, there was a pull, all of those things, but Roman Josi was able to avoid picking up a penalty on this one, and McDavid was unable to get off the quality of shot that he would have preferred. But at 11:12 of the second period, Luzon, who's going to pick up another penalty in this game, is off the box, 2 minutes for tripping, and the Oilers are going to convert yet again. It is Leon Draisaitl, I believe now #1 Pred killer of all time, his 23rd goal of the season, not just against the Predators this season, but it does feel that way. His 23rd goal of the season gives the Oilers a 2-0 lead, and this was just a perfect give and go between some of the most high-skilled players in the NHL. McDavid sets the play up from the slot area, sends it over to the right circle for the one-time finish. So Draisaitl, McDavid go give and go on the power play for the excellence of execution, giving the Oilers a 2-0 lead. At 12:20 of the second period, it's Nurse coming up with a penalty for hooking 2 minutes off to the box. Skinner would come up with a save on Philip Forsberg on this power play, but again, that would be it for the Nashville Predators on this power play. They'd only be able to generate one total shot on net at the 15:20 mark of the second period. It's Lankinen coming up with a save on Corey Perry at 16:50 of the second period. It's Skinner coming up with a save on McDonough from the left circle. This play was just maddening as the Nashville Predators worked to get the scoring opportunity, and they finally get the shot from McDonough, and McDonough kind of fanned on it, didn't get a whole lot on it, so the Predators don't get the great scoring opportunity that they really earned at the end of that long shift. At 18:07 of the second period, we're already on the back of the sheet here. Lankinen comes up with a save on Janmark after just maybe the most horrific turnover you're going to witness by the Nashville Predators. Hopefully not anything worse than that this season, but Lankinen does bail out the team right here on this situation. Lankinen was involved in the turnover himself. At the end of the second period, the Nashville Predators now out shooting the Edmonton Oilers 17-15, but the Preds have fallen down by 2 goals. 28 seconds into the third period, it's Skinner coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg, who was just buzzing all over the rink in this game. At the 3:16 mark of the third period, it's Lankinen coming up with a save on McLeod. At the 4:17 mark of the third period, it's Skinner coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg yet again. Here we are just a minute 13 seconds later at 5:30 of the third, and it's Skinner back to work again, coming up with another save, this time on Michael McCarron. 6:04, Skinner now stops glass. So the Nashville Predators are generating tons of zone time and good offensive opportunities and good close-range shots. Skinner is just responding in every way. At 7:13 of the third period, it's Skinner coming up with a save on Shen. And the Predators just dominating, but then at 9:11, McDavid finds himself with the bank shot off the back of Lankinen. He was taking the puck behind the net and decided to just deposit it off the back of Lankinen's leg and directly over the goal line and into the net. That's his 20th goal of the season. McDavid struggled to find his way to get on the score sheet in this one. You know, he hit a post, Lankinen shut him down, so he just decided to bank one in right here. The Oilers have a 3-0 lead. The Predators really were buzzing up until this moment in the third period. 9:41 of the third period now. It is Glass hitting the post, ringing the iron yet again in this game. So the iron actually has been hit, I think, 3 times by this point by the Preds. 11:42 of the third, it's Skinner coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg yet again. 13:25 of the third period, it's Colton Sissons breaking through for the Nashville Predators, getting his 13th goal of the season. This was all hard work and pinball action. The Nashville Predators, Cole Smith, Luke Evangelista, and Colton Sissons were able to maintain the puck puck possession, keep it in the zone, and keep taking the puck away from the Oilers in their own defensive zone. They just were causing complete mayhem, and that's maybe the best word to describe the entirety of this play, but just complete mayhem leads to the puck ultimately going off of Sissons in the low slot area and into the net. That's going to do it for the shutout for Skinner. Sissons' 13th goal of the season makes the game 3-1 now in favor of Edmonton. At 13:48 of the third period, Lankinen comes up with a save on Hyman at 14:18. Skinner has to come up with a save on Cole Smith, and this would have made things so much more interesting. Cole Smith had a really good look at it right here with the extra attacker on. The Predators are going to give up the empty net goal at 16:41. Hyman does some good hard work, actually, to earn this empty netter. You don't typically have to say that, but he did a good job right here. Finishes off for his 30th goal of the season. An empty net goal gives the Oilers a 4-1 lead in this game. The Nashville Predators would have a couple of more opportunities, but would not register any more shots on goal with the extra attacker over the final couple of minutes of this game. And that is going to wrap things up. The Edmonton Oilers come away with their 16th consecutive victory of the season. They're now heading towards the NHL record fairly quickly. The Oilers win this game 4-1. The Nashville Predators do outshoot the Oilers 30-21. The Oilers did everything they've done across this 16-game win streak in this game, except they got outshot and they didn't put up many shots on goal, but it was, again, the power play that absolutely killed the Nashville Predators. They were unable to score on the power play, and the Edmonton Oilers power play was dominant in this game, scoring 2 goals. At 5-on-5 hockey, this was a 1-1 game. Add 2 power play goals for the Oilers, add an empty net goal, 4-1 spread, and the Oilers continue just moving on, and like I said, heading potentially towards the NHL record for consecutive wins. For the Nashville Predators, 1-1 on the road trip. They've got an opportunity in their next game to close out the 3-game road trip with a victory and go 2 out of 3, but they go 1-2 against the Oilers on the season. They only pick up 2 out of a possible 6 points, and that could come back to hurt them in the playoff race later on in the season. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap, full analysis, box score, and so much more coming up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We'll go all the way back January 29th, the year 2024. The Nashville Predators were in Ottawa to take on the Senators for the first of 2 regular season meetings. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Trennan, Sissons, and Goryanov, Novak, Glass, and Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino back in the lineup. Yossi and Fabry, Luzon and Carey, McDonough and Shen are your defensive pairings, and UC Saros gets the start in net. We are 1 minute and 57 seconds into the first period, and no, we do not have our first shot on goal. We have our first penalty of the game. It's Michael McCarron off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Sogard is coming up with a shorthanded save on Nyquist, the first shot on goal of the game in a most untraditional way. Outstanding penalty kill. No shots on goal against the Nashville Predators. 3:59 of the first period. Though UC Saros does come up with his first save on the game on Bernard Dorker at 4:34 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Kachuk, the 6:06 mark of the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Sanderson's long shot at 6:22. Saros another save on Zub at the post at 6:23. It's Saros coming with an even better save on Kachuk right there at the same post off of Zub's rebound. At 7:50 of the first period, it's Sogard coming up with a save on Alex Carrier. At 8:26 of the first period, it's Michael McCarron scoring his 7th goal of the season. The captain, Roman Yossi, dumps the puck in from the neutral zone. It takes a perfect bounce off of one of the glass stanchions right to Michael McCarron in the slot as if they had drawn it up perfectly that way. Michael McCarron gets his 7th goal of the season. The Nashville Predators are leading this game 1-0 on the road. 10:23 into the first period. Sogard coming with a save on Alex Carey. 11:57 of the first. It's Sogard coming with a save on Smith's deflection. 12:13. UC Saros back to work, coming with a save on Sanderson at the 12:50 mark of the first period. Shabbat off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. The Predators would be unable to generate any shots on goal, so they get the receipt on the penalty kill from the Ottawa Senators at 15:12 of the first period. It's Sogard coming up with a save on Smith at the 16:30 mark of the first period. It's Tomasino picking up his 6th goal of the season. He goes bar down off the rush, makes an absolute power move to score the Nashville Predators' 2nd goal of the game, now with a 2-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators at 16:14 of the first period. Shen hits the crossbar after Forsberg's great setup. At 19 minutes of the first period, though, it is Trennan scoring his 8th goal of the season. It's deflection of Fabro's long shot. Yossi to Fabro. Fabro deflected by Trennan into the back of the net. Nashville Predators 3 3-0 lead here in the first period on the road. At the end of the first period, they are out shooting the Ottawa Senators 11-7. Sogard is out at the end of the first period, and Korpisalo is in to start the second period, and it's just 22 seconds in. They were already back to action. UC Saros comes with a save on Kachuk's wraparound attempt at the 53-second mark of the second period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Kachuk after 5 minutes of practically running around in their own end at the 5:21 mark of the second. It's Matheson finally cashing in for Ottawa. They had so many opportunities in the first few minutes of this period. His 17th goal of the season makes it 3-1 now in favor of the Nashville Predators. Sloppy D zone just allowed Matheson to pick the spot that he wanted, and he was able to convert for the Ottawa Senators, breaking through and getting them on the board. The 6:14 mark of the second period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Bernard Doker. At the 7-minute mark, Saros comes up with a save on Kelly. The 8:38 mark of the second, Saros comes up with a save on Kachuk. At 8:47 of the second period, Korpisalo comes with a save on Luzon. Nice glove save, but it's the first good scoring chance of the period for the Nashville Predators. Only the second shot on goal at 8:47 there of the second. At 9:20 of the second, it's Stutzel with his 11th goal of the season, making it 3-2 now in favor of the Nashville Predators. Ottawa getting their second goal of the period and continuing to chip away at that Nashville Predators lead. We're at the 9:35 mark now of the second period, and it's UC Saros coming with a save on Pinto's backhand. At 10:19 of the second period, Korpisalo comes up with a save on Yakov Trenin. We flip over to the back of the very eventful sheet in this period, and at the 10:40 mark of the second period, just past the halfway point of the game, we find Chabot off the box. Again, 2 minutes for kneeing this time. Korpisalo would come up with a save on Tommy Novak. Then would come up with a huge save on Luke Evangelista. Would have to come up with another following up save on Gus Nyquist right after the power play expires for the Nashville Predators. Predators are able to get another good scoring chance at the 12:41 mark of the second. It's Korpisalo coming with a save on Luke Evangelista. At the 14:28 mark of the second, it's UC Saros coming up with a save on Chabot. 17:10 of the second period, it's Kachuk, his 21st goal of the season, tying the game up 3 apiece. It was a clean face-off win by Norris. He slid the puck over towards the slot area. Gus Nyquist had vacated his area and his responsibility just a little bit too soon, leaving Kachuk wide open to spin and fire the puck with a strong wrist shot, and the Ottawa Senators tie this game up at 3 apiece on Kachuk's 21st goal of the season. At the 19:39 mark of the second period, it's Luzon off the box, 2 minutes for slashing, and Greg is also off the box, 2 minutes for embellishment, holding the stick, whatever it is you would like to call right here. He made a dramatic play of the whole thing. It's a 4-on-4 scenario for the final 21 seconds of the second period. Not much action would happen, so we end the period with the Nashville Predators out shooting the Ottawa Senators 22-20. We come out with a brand new hockey game and 20 minutes of regulation left, 1:47 to go. 1:47 into the third period, it's Jonas Korpisalo coming up with a save on Colton Sissons. At the 2:35 mark of the third period, we see Brandstrom off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. UC Saros would have to come up with the big shorthanded save on Giroux, plus his rebound follow-up by Claude Giroux. 0 shots on goal by the Nashville Predators, and considering this is a tie game on the road against the last-place team, it is just absolutely abysmal. At the 5:13 mark of the third period, it's McCarron off to the box, 2 minutes for holding. It's going to be UC Saros coming with a save on Sundgren. Overall, the penalty kill, not bad. The Nashville Predators are able to keep the Ottawa Senators from scoring, and that's the point. At the 6:50 mark of the third period, it's Jonas Korpisalo coming with a save on Cole Smith. At the 7:14 mark, it is Saros coming with a save on Chychrun. At 9:20 of the third period, it is UC Saros coming up with a save on Stutzel. At the 9:22 mark of the third period, it's UC Saros getting called for tripping on Stutzel. He comes up with the save just 2 seconds earlier, but it was the kick-out save where he gets the puck clearly with his pad first, and then on the follow-through takes the player out. This, in my opinion, should not have been called a penalty, but it was deemed by the only person that can make that decision to be a penalty. So the Nashville Predators find themselves just about midway through the third period in a tie game in a very, very difficult circumstance. UC Saros does, of course, not serve the penalty. He stays out there and clocks in and goes to work as Saros comes with a save on Kachuk, and then Saros comes up with another save on Chikrin. Saros would have to come up with one more big save on Batherson. All of the big names for the Ottawa Senators making attempts here during this power play. The Nashville Predators are able to keep the Sens off the board. 11:53 of the third period. We see Korpisalo coming up with a save on the captain Roman Josi at 13:40 of the third period. You see Saros coming up with a save on Chikrin at the 16:35 mark of the third period. It's Korpisalo coming up with a save on Luzon at 17:51 of the third period. It's Saros coming with a save on Chikrin, plus his world-class follow-up right here. A great chance for the Ottawa Senators to put this game away in regulation. 18:55 of the third period. It's UC Saros came up with one more save on Pinto, and the Nashville Predators honestly are able to survive the attack of the Ottawa Senators down the stretch in the third period. The Ottawa Senators for the game outshoot the Nashville Predators 34-29, so 14 shots on goal by the Ottawa Senators. UC Saros stopping all of them in the third period. We go to the 3-on-3 overtime, and we find at the 3:36 mark of the overtime session, it is Claude Giroux with his 15th goal of the season. He was trailing on the 3-on-2. He gets the puck and he finishes the play, beating UC Saros after the Preds had a glorious opportunity and whiffed on the 2-on-1 on the other end. This was the only shot on goal in the entirety of the overtime. The Preds got a little too occupied with the loops and the swoops and trying to maintain possession and did not get the puck to the net at any point in time, no matter how hard Forsberg may have been trying. So Giroux's 15th goal of the season wins this game for the Ottawa Senators on home ice in overtime, 4-3. The Ottawa Senators end up out shooting the Nashville Predators for the game 35-29. And for this right here, it was the first time the Nashville Predators had seen the Ottawa Senators this year. I know Ottawa had been playing better as of late since the coaching change, but they're an 8th place team in the Eastern Conference, and you had a 3-goal lead. It's simply something that cannot happen. The Nashville Predators special teams falters yet again, and then in overtime, not really sure what happened on that 2-on-1. Looked like it should have been a shot. Josi, I think, was running on fumes there at the very end of that overtime session, but Philip Forsberg trying to do it all by himself and realizing quickly in that overtime session that he could not do it. The Preds don't convert on the 2-on-1 and then give up the 3-on-2 rush, and that's the end of this game. So again, the Nashville Predators fall on the road. They do pick up a point. That's going to be of critical importance in the playoff race, in the wild card race, especially at this moment. But this is a game the Nashville Predators let get away from, an extra point they absolutely let get away from. You can't blow 3-goal leads against last place teams. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got full analysis and so much more coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Thanks so much for joining us for the Renegades of Puck 2023-2024 Nashville Predators season recap. We're doing it in chunks of 5 games, so we sure to appreciate you jumping along on the journey and checking out each and every part. Remember, you can check us out at renegadesofpuck.com, check us out on social media, and we sure to appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Sonnier. Stick taps, love, and respect.